And what's happening, guys? Welcome along to another episode of 420 News. I'm your show host, Martin Condon. And 420 News, guys, brought to you by Martin's World. Hope everybody's good out there, guys. Welcome along to another episode of the show. Who we got out there? We got a hype saying that there's no notifications. It's a hard world to get by when you're trying to spread a message of truth, isn't it? But still, the truth seekers sort you out, don't you? Scatanist, what's going on? Hype is there as well. Daniel Long, what's going on? Podge, Mistaways, DB Woodcraft. Who else is out there? We got Podge, Sean Michael, Kieran C. Mark, what's going on? We have John, Bogwan's son, Monsieur, what's going on? Monsieur Fudge. Yo, people, another great start. Facebook notifications being on the high grade shit. And Kieran Coleman as well is out there. Rudy, what's going on? Guru Gangsta Goat, what's going on? Guru Gangsta Goat, hope all is well. Who else? Russell is out there as well. What's going on, Russell? Russell saying, check out the group chat, Martin. I ain't even playing, no lie, no effing notification. What the heck? Gotta get on top of this stuff. Kieran Coleman being arrested yet over the City Hall? No, not yet, Kieran. Not yet. I learned a new verb the other day. It's called, they didn't want to Barbara Streisand me. I actually had to Google that one up, but apparently there was a photo taken of Barbara Streisand's house many years ago as part of like showing the effects of coastline erosion. But she tried to silence the photo, but in trying to silence it, she actually ended up getting the photo out to even more people. So maybe they're trying to not Barbara Streisand me. And that if they criminalise me, they might actually cause the opposite of the desired effect. Who knows? Like, who knows? It's probably coming all right. Like, my days are probably numbered in those ones. But look, I'm ready. Like, I knew what I was getting into when I began this campaign of civil disobedience. And I'm more than willing to take whatever it is that they throw at me. Because, I'm standing up for something that I believe to be right, that all of you out there also believe is right. In time to come, I will be on the right side of history. So I fear not. I'll keep on just pushing on ahead. What's going on? I see R420 Supplies joining us as well. Shout out to R420 Supplies, keeping me herbs grinded here. Who else we got? Anybody else joining us? Fwetch is joining us as well. What's going on, Fwetch? How are you, Martin? Good to see you, brother. How are you doing, Fwetch? Hope you're well. Killian Williamson as well is out there, just enjoying the rain, being back in Cork, watering them plants. Yeah, I was confused at first what that stuff that was falling from the sky there earlier. There was loads of noise outside, and I looked outside and I was like, geez, the sky is leaking. What happened? Who else is out there? Kieran, keep planting them and keep their flow rolling. Definitely, Kieran, I will indeed. Scatanist as well saying the martyr effect. Let's hope you do have immunity now. Russell Banta says, your lighter nearly killed me, 420 Supplies. That's right. We were having an old hoot there the other night, myself and Russell, and the old, actually have it here in my pocket, do I? Yes, I do. This lighter kind of caused a bit of an explosion. There was a lot of gas came out of it, and poor Russell's eyebrows nearly got it. Yeah, it definitely did, Russell. It tried to get your entire face. Maybe it's just for bong hits. And speaking of bong hits, I think I'll pack one up. And as I'm doing so, guys, I'd like to just also take a second to thank a listener of the show, a supporter of the show, who was kind enough to give me some cannabis the other day. So the Dank of Shannon crew there got in touch, and they were, yeah, Martin, love the actions you do. Want to give you some free weed to throw up on the so you can talk it while you're on the podcast. So nice one there to Dank of Shannon, hooking me up there with a lovely bag of cannabis there. Apparently strawberry haze. So quite nice of them. Like, never set out to do this to be getting any kind of freebies or anything. This was always about the message, but at the same time, I'm more than happy to receive the support of the listeners out there. who want to share with me their fine wares. And in this case, their fine herb. So it's quite nice. It's quite tasty herb as well. Danke Shannon was telling me as to how a buddy of his is over in another country which won't be mentioned, and sends back some lovely fine herb here to Ireland. So yeah, definitely happy with this one anyway. So balls on up, guys. Civil disobedience on their way, courtesy of Danke Shannon to Martin's World. Yes, free the weed. Free weed for all. What's your plans ahead in the future? Coming in from Quran. Not too sure. Just going to keep on escalating things as much as they can be escalated in a peaceful fashion. Keep on beating the drum here because there's people suffering out there in our society. So until we get the change that we're fighting for, I won't be resting. Who else is out there? Skatanist saying here at Russell Bant, apparently the lighter thought your bong is enough environment to assume it was in the lab. Excuse me. Alright, let's drive on, guys. Welcome everybody to the show. Let's get stuck into today's news. So today's news, guys, the first headline I want to bring to you today is a headline coming from the MOAC crowd. I was on about this guy last week, Michael O'Sullivan. Kept calling him Ian by mistake, but yeah, Michael O'Sullivan, the head of MOAC, which is the Marine Operation for Narcotic Controls or something like that. They're situated, funnily enough, over in Portugal. And my buddy Casa das Drogas, Graham de Barra, was filling me in actually that this MOAC centre, the operations for targeting the importation of drugs into Europe, it's situated in an area that's frequented by local skateboarders in Portugal who quite often are smoking cannabis and maybe doing some other drugs there right outside of this headquarters for MOAC. But this is the headline anyway, that this expert, so he calls himself Michael O'Sullivan, and I suppose he is an expert in one sense, from one perspective. He's coming at this from the perspective that drugs are bad. Michael O'Sullivan was an ex-undercover guard here working in Ireland throughout the 80s and 90s and stuff like that. And since he's retired, then look, he's after finding himself into a nice old position now, calling himself an expert in drugs, but all he's really an expert on is prohibition. But he says that Ireland's coke demand is fueled by people who don't connect binge with cartels and murder. But I fixed that one from Michael because I believe that was an incorrect headline for the paper to be going with. So this is the fixed version of the headline which I threw out. And it's Ireland's drug gangs' problems are fueled by prohibitionists who don't connect prohibition with cartels and murder. I believe that to be much more one, and I also claim to be an expert now. Yes, because this is said by an expert also, coming at you right now from Martin's World. So Martin from Martin's World says that Ireland's drug gangs' problems is fueled by prohibitionists who don't connect prohibition with cartels and murder. Yes. And Hype, what's going on, Hype? Legend there for the donation towards the show and saying towards a new controller. Hype, you're a legend. Nice one for that. Yeah, we were having a few issues there last night with the controller. Got the order in there and it's already on the way. But a legend there for donating there and supporting the show as you will. It certainly will see its way towards a really good banner that I've planned to use here on the streets of Cork to engage more with the public in just conversation, but for getting content on the show. So a new idea I have coming up very soon, and hopefully I'll have some of that content to get you once I get it going. But nice one again, Hype. But again, guys, this headline needed to be fixed. But Michael O'Sullivan, and I kind of agree with him in one sense, that there's people out there using cocaine and they've their heads buried in the sand as to the blood that's attached to the trade that's getting that cocaine to their nightclub bathroom that they're snorting her off of, using their bank card and stuff, like a bank card that's probably stacked full of cash, like, because I certainly couldn't be affording going out and engaging in cocaine use anyway myself, like. That's definitely something that's only afforded to people who are well off. Like, that's certainly, one of the more lucrative drugs. But certainly, I've said it here on the show too as well. Like, why aren't these people calling for a more, I don't know, a fair trade? In terms of the supply there, a reduction in the violence and the bloodshed that's attached to the supply of cocaine to the streets of Ireland. Because it's quite bad. And there is Colombia and other countries over there, they are actually making efforts now to authorize different kind of uses of coca and in the traditional sense within their own communities over there. So best of luck with them on that one, and I hope it's something that we can maybe replicate here too in Ireland. Not saying that people actually be going out to a chemist and getting some cocaine, but look, if they want to get some paste in a chew that's going to have a very similar effect, or even drink some tea that'll have a milder effect, but a similar but milder effect that cocaine has to offer, like, maybe people might actually choose the less harmful of the few, because snorting that powder up your nose, like, it's certainly not good for your nose. Again, the same criticism for cannabis, like, breathing in that smoke there, it's definitely not good for your lungs. Try to reduce that harm by putting that filter medium water between myself and the smoke. But similarly, like, you'd wonder people out there who would use cocaine, they might opt for the lesser harmful ways of consuming that substance should they had the choice, So I don't think Michael O'Sullivan is much of an expert in drugs, only an expert in prohibition. And again, look at that headline. He's got his head buried in the sand as to the connection of his prohibition he so wholeheartedly supports with the cartels and murder that he's so wholeheartedly against. So that's a headline being fixed there. That was a headline that was featured, I believe that was over on the Sunday World. So I fixed that one there for, Nicola Talent, the author of that. So if you want to get in touch, Nicola, if you want to have me follow up on any more comments there after me fixing your headline, do get in touch. Martinsworld at Gmail, or martinsworldpodcast at gmail.com. So we drive on from there, guys, and the next headline I have for you today, guys, is that, and I get the Chrome off there, Revenue deploys a new mobile container scanning, new mobile container scanner to target drug smuggling. So this is the container here featured on the screen. You see it, the cars just drive in under that, and there's got an X-ray, or even the trucks driving under it. It can adjust its height, go up and down there by the looks of it. So they can get trucks in under that, so they can just scan things. This isn't a cheap piece of kit either. Like, this is costing the Irish taxpayer €2.16 million. But it was part funded by a grant of €1.73 million from the European Anti-Fraud Agency, OLAF. Under its Hercule 3 programme, Revenue Commissioner and Director General of Customs, Mr. Jerry Harhill, expressed the thanks of Revenue Board to OLAF for their financial support in the acquisition of this new scanner. Is this like just some form of buy-off, or what's the crack here? Like, does this mean Ireland now is not allowed to decriminalise or legalise for different kind of drugs in Irish society as a part of this payoff? Like, you have to wonder, like, all right, there's going to be other things smuggled into the country, such as people, such as, other kind of bits and pieces that they could be detecting here. But you'd have to imagine that a large 90% of its time is going to be spent detecting drugs. So, quite a bit of money there going towards a piece of kit that's just going to be fighting a failed war. And once we legalise and regulate the supply of drugs, then what is this actually going to be doing except detecting people who are going to be trying to avoid maybe paying the proper appropriate customs fees, on products such as tobacco, alcohol, and other bits and pieces like that as well that people try to smuggle into the country illegally. Mustawa is there as well. Legend Mustawa is there. Always appreciating the support there to the show, guys, and I'll certainly be putting that to good use. With some luck there, we might actually have some form of a hub up and running here in Cork very soon. But at the same time, we have to look into the technicalities around having people indoors or around this whole fucking COVID thing now again. Like, they're trying to create this whole two-tier system here, fucking thus complicating things further. But look, I'll still be looking into that, and we'll certainly be making things happen, because we'll be needing an indoor venue come September, October for some of the things I have planned for us. All shall be revealed in good time. I won't be wasting money like these guys in revenue anyway with their silly old scanners looking for my bag of weed as I posted in from Spain. So we drive on, guys, and we highlight more wasted time and money by the Irish taxpayers here after a man was arrested with over €100,000 worth of cannabis in County Offaly. So this is in County Offaly, where a man in his 40s was arrested after the 5 kilos of cannabis was discovered when the cops searched the house in Tullamore yesterday. Well, this actually wasn't yesterday, apologies. This was on Thursday evening, but this wasn't released into the press then until late on Monday or Friday, so therefore it didn't make Friday's 420 news. But yeah, what a waste of time here. 5 kilos of cannabis is going to be destroyed now by the cops, costing us money, when we could have been making about €23,000. Put a 23% tax in that. You've got the income tax then as well for the employees that would have been used for selling this product, plus the maybe the rent and rates that would have been for the premises that might have been rented, the council making rates, all of the different utilities that would have been used, all above board, all legit, paying taxes, stimulating our economy. Massive missed opportunity here, so shaming the politicians who continue to support prohibition and continue to see this money go to the organised crime gangs instead. Eddie Jones, what's going on, Eddie? Martin, can you shout out to Chris Walsh and Fermoy? There you go, what's happening, Chris Walsh? Hope all's well done in Fermoy. Fermoy is a dodgy part of the country actually here, isn't it? Because that's apparently where they train a lot of the undercover cops. So Fermoy has actually got probably one of the highest head count of cops per head of population than anywhere else in the rest of the island of Ireland, I believe. Don't hold me on that one, but that's certainly what the locals will say down below. So yeah, be careful down there for my Chris. Monsieur, does your mail get checked? After my Zeg got stolen by customs, all my UK packages are being opened. Yeah, they can flag your address at times, but depends on how it's getting sent over, sorry, they're definitely getting an old bit of cotton out after that bong hit. And I never brought up me ishka. 1 second, guys. I'm going to grab me ishka. Apologies. Has to be done. Russell Bant, man, I can't wait to put a face to all the names. 7th of August, guys, don't forget, Cork City, 7th of August, we have the picnic in the park. Don't you forget that, guys. So there you go, 2 to 6 p.m, 7th of August, down on the Mardyke Walkway, just before the Mardyke Skate Park. So put the Mardyke Skate Park into Google Maps, you'll see a walkway next to that. There's a big green just outside of that skate park, and you'll find us down there, and hopefully we'll get to bump elbows there with all you beautiful people. I really enjoyed meeting many of you above there in Dublin at the Phoenix Park event. So make sure you get on down to this one on the 7th of August, guys. It's going to be a great day out. We got some great support of the day. Going to have a kick-ass raffle there. We're going to have some great bands, musicians perform down there, and possible even some yoga there. All to be confirmed, but all to be looked forward to as well. So I hope to see some of you there as well and see some new faces as well. So we drive on with the news, guys, because we go from the 100 grand in County Offaly we go to Dundalk. We're in Dundalk District Court. The man has been sentenced to prison for the sale of cannabis. This is in Dundalk, where Paul Agnew, 27 years of age, was charged with having cannabis for sale and supply at Rampart Lane, Dundalk, at his former home, where he was also charged with unlawful possession of the drug on March 12th last year. The court presenter, Sergeant Jimmy McGovern, outlined how the members of Dundalk drug unit stopped the Volkswagen Golf on Rampart Lane and spoke to the two occupants. They detected a smell of cannabis. During the course of the search of the vehicle, they found 2 cling film wrapped packs of cannabis and €200 in cash as well. The defendants were arrested on suspicion of drugs for sale and supply, and when his rented accommodation was searched under the warrant, Gardaí recovered a large quantity of the cannabis in empty deal bags, and also a tick list. Sorry, bud, you got nabbed red-handed. Paul Agnew admitted to supplying the cannabis to a number of people. The court heard that he had no previous convictions. Many people don't have convictions, because the cops, in this case, they just got lucky. The lads were unlucky enough to have a car that was stinking in cannabis. If they had cocaine, if they were selling cocaine, they probably would not have been caught at all, because guess what? You don't get a smell of cocaine no matter how much you have on you from a car, unfortunately, you could have the smallest nodge of weed in your pocket, and it's going to smell like you've got a fucking 20 or 30 plants growing in the back of your car, it's just the unfortunate thing that comes with it, but in this case, anyway, the individual, he was caught with more cannabis back at his house. It doesn't say actually how much he was caught with back at the house, but it says he did have accrue a €3,500 debt, and he had to work at a petrol pump station, a petrol filling station, to pay off this debt. And when he was up before the judge, then the judge said that she did not accept the excuse of dealing to clear the drug debt, because he got caught 2 times. Heard he was up for 2 different cases. She said you should have went and got a second job. Do you know, the judge acts as if it's actually everybody has the ability to go get a second job, cheeky out, she gave the man anyway, the young man, 27 as well, a 4-month prison sentence for one of the sale and supply charges, and marked the rest taken into consideration, and fixed reconnaissance of €500 and a cash lodgement in the event of an appeal being lodged. So a 4-month sentence here for this individual, to us, the taxpayers, that's about €40,000 or just under €40,000. Costs about €100,000 per year per prisoner in Ireland. To put this fella up there now in Cork prison or whatever prison they're going to lock him up in, on average, you could be €30,000 to €40,000 there. We're paying for this, for what? The guy got caught with a bit of weed, in fairness. Come on, get off the stage and leave him alone. It's going to be not too long into the future when this is all going to be legal, and these people are probably might possibly be setting up businesses in their own little area, much like your man Danka Shannon, having a chat with him there yesterday evening, and telling me he was doing this for about 3 years or something like that, has a couple of, 1 or 2 people there that do a bit of work for him. So I was just kind of thinking to myself, that this guy, should he have been afforded the opportunity, could be setting up a legitimate business in his area, employing people from his area too, and be providing a service to the community that's demanded by the community. It's not as if it's something that's not wanted by the community. Cannabis is wanted by the community. Hell, cocaine is even wanted by the community, but that's a conversation for a different day, for a different community. I definitely want to see cannabis legalised and regulated here very soon, and people like the Danka Shannon then afforded the opportunity to legitimise themselves and pay their taxes and pay their dues, and be contributors to society. I'd imagine Danke Shannon probably is not gotten a full-time job there, because what he's doing is probably a full-time job. Like, I didn't get to ask him these questions, like, but getting into those things, maybe I will have a bit more of a deeper conversation with the guy and just understand there what's going on in the background, and ask him the questions like that, like, what would you legitimize if cannabis was legal? Like, do you want to see cannabis was legal? Well, of course the guy wants to see that. That's why he loves the show. Like, so yeah, it'll be an interesting conversation to have there. Like, but it'll have to be done anonymously. Although some people out there are probably maybe aware of who Danke Shannon already is, might have done some business with the guy, as he's already around for a while. Doesn't operate under that name any longer. But definitely, if people wanted to get in touch with the guy around Cork, drop me a DM and I can give you his new Addy. Seems like a nice guy anyway. Other people out there, John Finnegan wasn't Olaf the snowman dude from Frozen. He was indeed much nicer than this other Olaf crowd, who were sponsoring fucking terrorizing our community with these big X-ray fucking machines. Russell Bant, a question about the cannabis program. Can you reclaim the cost of the drugs at the end of the year? I am meeting my neurologist tomorrow in Bantry to discuss my application. Not that I'm aware of, Russell. You need to get approval from there's Kenny Tynan will know the name of the guy. Was it Mick Murphy or something like that? Maybe that was for his area. But it's like something medicines reimbursement officer. You have to get in touch with him in order to get reimbursed for the cannabis medicines from the minister. But as far as I'm aware, at least the barrier Kenny ran into, and some of the other patients as well, such as Pamela Fowler there or Pamela Barnes, who for her son, Ryan, she wasn't able to get reimbursed either, because the condition was outside of the 3 conditions that the cannabis was prescribed for. So if it's one of the 3 conditions, medicine-resistant epilepsy, refractory epilepsy, multiple sclerosis, to do with the pain, not the spasticity, and what was the other one? Chemo caused nausea. So those were the 3 things, and refractory kind of chemo nausea as well. So as far as I'm aware, your chronic pain would be outside of those conditions. So unfortunately, they might try to deny you reimbursement, meaning you would have to pay for it yourself. I.e., you are being discriminated against. But that's how I would see it anyway. Like, I wouldn't take it any other way than that. So we drive on, guys. The next headline I have for you today, guys, is a man who attacked 2 escorts during a robbery and was later found with almost €500,000 worth of cannabis. Has received a jail sentence there. This was a man by the name of Wojciech Kazimierzak, 43 years of age. It said that he choked one of the women until she was unconscious during a robbery, in which the other woman was also rendered unconscious and had her hands bound by duct tape and was wrapped up in a rug. A sicko, man, really. Like, so this individual went into the escort's property and basically just started grabbed her by the throat and stuff. Was money, demanding money off of them. Tied one of them up, wrapped her up in a rug and everything. This was going back to August of last year, apparently. The woman then, after the guys had left anyway, luckily got in touch with the authorities. They were able to identify the culprits through the CCTV video on the apartment's CCTV footage, and the cops carried out a kind of a a surveillance operation on the individuals, were watching them and stuff like that, and they made a move on them. So I don't know, was the move attached to that, or were they actually under the radar, the cops anyway, because of their dealing with the cannabis and stuff. But why I'm bringing this up anyway, like, because I welcome the decision here that this guy, he got, just to kind of end the story with this individual, he got, I think it was 11 years, with 1 year suspended from Judge Maylene Greeley. So I welcome that decision. It doesn't say what they actually got for the cannabis, but for the maybe that was including the cannabis. It doesn't actually say here in this kind of article that the court report on this. But look, I welcome it. I think that, that 25 years would have been, it wouldn't have been enough really for any sicko would go in there and do that to two women. Fucking pervert. I hope you get what's coming shot in prison. Like, I hope they learn what kind of a coward you are, picking on women, robbing women out there who are selling their bodies, like, to make a few pound, and you go in there and rob them. Scumbags. But what I'm bringing this up is for, know your source. While I was plugging Danke Shannon and all of that there a few minutes ago, like, I had a chat with the guy. Seems like the source is it's known, it's connected, but can't be guaranteed or anything. Like, but you can only do your best. But like, these kind of sickos, like, do you want to be supporting these kind of sickos? Like, and these are the kind of risk takers that are out there who are going to take the risks and moving large quantities of cannabis around the place. So if you're dealing with an unknown source, there's a high potential that you could be supporting violent criminals such as these sickos. And again, this is only because of prohibition, I'm not really trying to say shame on you or anything like this. Look, if you can't grow your own, you can't grow your own. If you can't source ethically, you can't source ethically. You want cannabis, you want cannabis. Like, it's shame on the prohibitionists, shame on the policymakers, because they're not affording us the opportunity to not put money into the pockets of these sickos. This individual, if he was to set up and run a business, like, I'm sure it would come out to the surface quite quick what kind of a guy he is, and people wouldn't want to be doing business with this kind of person. So shame on the prohibitionists for affording these violent thugs opportunities to make money off of this herb that brings so much fucking greatness to so much benefits to many people out there in our society. Shame on ye, and get up and change it. And we drive on from there, guys, because we go from that to another story, in this time over in the UK. This is in the UK where an individual was trying to get away from the cops. Well, I don't know, was he trying to get away or what the story was, but I thought I had a photo there already. I'll get the photo up. This is a guy that is up on the roof of a property, and you can see the cops just outside, trying to during the raid. So there you see him look up and the roof. So I don't know what the story is. Like, what was he doing getting up that high? Like, was he, like, did he reckon he had a good chance of landing the jump, or what was the crack? Like, but I certainly wouldn't be taking that risk anyway. Like, but a lot of the times, when the cops come, you panic. Like, you are actually in fear of your life when the cops show up to raid a gaff. Like, at this property, there was it was about 70,000 pounds worth of plants. They were saying 70 cannabis plants. The raid took place just after 11 o'clock in the morning, and the individual got into the roof, and he fell, unfortunately. And look, quick warning there, like, I actually have a video, so if you're all queasy or anything like that, then look away. But I will play for you there. 1 second now. So we get his image off. Boom. That quick. You can kind of hear him and all, like, whoa. And you see all the cops and stuff around there, like. But all this, like, over a couple of plants, like, like that young fella, like, could have died here jumping off of that roof, like, or falling off of that roof, like. But he'd rather take his chances up there, taking that fall. Like, you see that, like that's slow motion of it there. He'd rather take his chances up there than with the cops down below, because do you know that's basically what the cops do. They instill that fear into you. We are terrorized by them in certain lights, like, you know. So yeah, that definitely, I echo that there as well. I do hope that guy is okay. I hope he was brought to hospital afterwards, where I don't know, as he made a recovery anyway, like, but once he does recover, I suppose it's straight to court and into prison then for this to this guy. Because, you know, he's a criminal. He needs to be taken off the streets. But in fairness, like, even in the UK, they're talking now at the moment, like, you know, there's some talks within different kind of spheres, but as to the the economic opportunities there is that be had from legalizing cannabis over there. They're looking at all the benefits now that CBD is having over there. They're estimating that the market's going to be worth over £1 billion very soon, if it's not there already. So, you know, that they're certainly looking at cannabis now, and you know, that this guy is going to have permanent scars for life. You know, as well as being locked up, you know, all of that stuff. And meanwhile, the same plant is going to be legalized in not too distant future, like, you know. Yeah, amazed if he's not seriously injured. Could have broke his legs, like, you know. Seriously, like. I'm sure lads on the roof is like me dropping in on Warzone. Like breaking leaf when. Yes, haven't had a few games of Warzone in a while, actually. Yeah, good game. Bogwan Son, parachute for sale, used once, never opened. Yes, everybody's a comedian out there. Love it, guys. So we drive on, guys. We go from the UK all the ways over to Colombia. Where in Colombia, the authorities have authorized industrial use of cannabis and its export for medicinal purposes also. And in the picture here, on the left, the guy closest to me is President Ivan Dak. And this picture was taken at the facilities of Clever Leaves. Very nice name, actually, of a cannabis company, in fairness, like Clever Leaves. I like that one. But this is a processing facility for medicinal cannabis products, apparently. You can see the cannabis here packaged in the foil, and I don't know what this is going on here. Like, is this all going for making extracts for oils, tinctures, and stuff like that? I don't know enough about this company, but what it looks like in these bags here are big bags anyway. So they're probably dealing with bigger players there then, where they're buying it in, extracting from the products and making more. You know, this was probably all GMP and all of that stuff. Like, it's not what I got off of Danka Shannon anyway, like, you know. You know, and it doesn't need to be either, like. And as I say, like, this stuff is, I think Stephen Garland says it. Is it, Steve? I don't know, is it your term? But NASA weed. And it doesn't need to be that, like, you know. Keep it organic, keep it simple, stupid. But yeah, well, very welcome news anyway. Like, it's good to see that Colombia is seeing some sense. And I hope that they just legalize cannabis just outright. Like other countries are around the world. Just start joining us in the times of peace. Don't make criminals of peaceful people. Like, you know, there's enough people out there who already mean to do bad in our society, without turning people who do not mean to do bad in our society into bad people. You know, by turning people like myself into a criminal, by saying, by having cannabis, you are a criminal. You technically are, in my eyes, in my kids' eyes, you know, people who go to prison are bad people. If you, that's where I have to go. Am I a bad person? No. Well, why are you sending me to prison? You know. And that's what we do by putting this silly prohibition in place. Like, we're making criminals out of good people. Prisons should be reserved for bad people, people who do not do good in our society. Not for people like myself. Not for people who are sick. And have addictions and stuff like that, you know. So well done, Colombia. Ireland, are you paying attention? you know, come on, like, what's the story? Like, I would love to be able to get out there and grow some really good, high quality cannabis and have it labeled up and ready to go for the patients, you know, following all of the good agricultural practices, good harvesting practices. I understand it all. I'm ready to do it. You know, come on, like, untie my hands, like, please. Let me engage in this industry that's fucking taken off around the world, and it's already worth billions, and it's only grown by the day. Pardon the pun. And you know, as I say, like, our hands are tied. Like, we're not being afforded the opportunity by our government to partake in this. Like, and meanwhile, other countries are seeing industries just take off. Like, and they're doing really well because of it. Then as well. So hopefully soon. Hopefully. We go on from there, guys, because we go from Colombia, we go to New Mexico, where in New Mexico there is Las Cruces, I hope that's how you pronounce it, Las Cruces, business gifting cannabis to avoid sales restrictions. So this is coming out of New Mexico, where recently the supply of cannabis to adults 21 and over has been decriminalised, but the regulations to allow for the sale of it have not been put in place yet. So in order to get around this, then one company that's after opening up its doors, calling itself Speakeasy, quite aptly named actually when you think about it. But it's gifting people cannabis when you come in and buy things such as stickers, pipes, and other types of souvenirs. So I have a little video there that I will pop up on screen for you. Just bear with me 1 second. I'll get it lined up there in the background. But this is features a little interview with the owner of this store, and he's just kind of highlighting the failure there to introduce proper legislation to allow the supply of the cannabis to the adults. 1 second. Is this viewing? Ah, yes, there we go. 1 second now. I made it way too big. There we go. Boom. So this is coming out of ABC 7 News.
Tens of thousands of dollars in sales, $125,000 in payroll in 3 weeks. A Las Cruces business owner claims his shop has kickstarted economic growth, but it's not what he's selling that's attracting his customers.
It's what he's gifting. ABC 7's Kate Berry reports from Central Las Cruces with our New Mexico mobile newsroom.
Well, let me tell you, I don't have a medical marijuana card, but I walked right into this Las Cruces business, showed my ID to prove I was 21, pulled out $10 of cash, and got a freshly rolled joint with 1 gram of cannabis.
This is the only way to do it. This is the only thing that's going to change Doñana County and get it going in the right direction.
Speakeasy opened its doors on June 29th when cannabis officially became legal in New Mexico. The business has already had tens of thousands of dollars in sales, according to co-owner Jason Estrada.
The community response has just been absolutely 100% unbelievable. All of our stuff is growing locally and organically.
We couldn't film inside the store, but Estrada did let me check out the inside. Here's how it works. Buy a sticker or other merchandise with cash, and staff will offer you a cannabis gift. I bought this sticker for $10 and left with 1 gram of cannabis rolled into a joint. Estrada said New Mexico's agricultural industry is already booming. Why not capitalize on another crop?
Pecans, chili, cotton, this is what we're known for. We're known for growing. So if we have the best green thumb when it comes to green chili and red chili, I'm pretty sure we can grow better cannabis here than any other state as well.
But he says don't call Speakeasy a dispensary.
We're not a dispensary. We're a novelty and gift shop.
So if you'd like to make $20 an hour, this business is hiring for 40 positions on September 1st. We have a link to apply on kvia.com. Reporting in Central Las Cruces with our New Mexico mobile newsroom, Kate Berry, ABC 7.
Now the store also sells merchandise to those with out-of-state IDs. Estrada said his business is licensed and 100% legal. We did reach out to the New Mexico Regulation and Licensing Department.
And they are now telling us late this evening, quote, The state is aware of the situation, and the current operation is not in keeping with the reading of legislative intent for how gifting of cannabis should work, and the department is determining what to do going forward. When asked if it was legal, the spokeswoman said, quote, "We can't make that determination. We are not the court system."
And there you go, guys. That's the speakeasy over in New Mexico. That's just kind of finding a little loophole there in the law in that they're not selling the cannabis, but they're gifting it to people when they come in and buy a souvenir. So I love that creativity there. I love that little just playing within the law. I believe that's what went on in Washington State also, when Washington State decriminalized the possession of cannabis for adults, but they didn't actually regulate for any way in which adults could get access to cannabis. Excuse me. So there was all these t-shirt stores then that were popping up around the place, and you could go in them and you could buy like a $25 t-shirt, a $50 t-shirt, or $100 t-shirt. So yeah, people do get creative, all right, when the plant gets decriminalized. But it just goes to show, you know, the jobs there. Was it 40 positions the guy is going to have once come September 1st? I think that they're going to be taking people on. I'm sure we could do with those jobs here in Ireland, don't you think? I know that there's certainly people who would love to be working in this industry here. I know many people working in pubs now who've said to me, Martin, I would love to be able to go and work in a place that's sold cannabis instead of the pub, because pubs are dive, like, you know, well, and I don't mean any offence by that, like, but what the staff have to put up with there some of the times, like, one man who came up to me actually in the Phoenix Park, it was like, I worry so much when my daughter goes to work because she works in a pub, and he goes, she works until late. It's a nightclub as well as our late bar, and this is above in Dublin where they can stay open a bit later, to like 3 or 4 or something. But he says that he always worries about his daughter because there's always these drunk people, and drunk people just lose control of themselves. He was like, I really would welcome the day that there's a cannabis stores, venues opened up where people can just go in and consume cannabis as an alternative to alcohol. He goes, I would feel much safer if my daughter worked there. And too right, like I would totally understand why he would feel that way. So again, you know, just highlighting how prohibition is denying us the opportunity to create so many bloody jobs. That's just one place in New Mexico, and they're looking at 40 job positions. Like that's a lot, in fairness. Like that's as many people as watching now on YouTube. Applications are open until September 1st, I believe, guys. So get them on in there if you're looking for the job over in New Mexico. But I believe also Darren White, the retired sheriff that I interviewed in the past, so check out that interview if you haven't seen it already. But Darren White was also talking about how the introduction of the sale of cannabis to adults 21 and over in New Mexico was going to see his business maybe triple or quadruple in terms of their output, and he's the number of employees he was going to have, the size of the facilities that he was going to need to produce the cannabis, and you know, again, all good things for an economy to stimulate it, create jobs, create and again, disempower the organised crime gangs, most importantly, you know. So come on, like Frankie Fee, Stephen Donnelly, guys, get your heads out of your arses and do the right thing. Like, how can you support prohibition given the evidence of all the success of regulation around the world that we're seeing before us? It's undeniable now that prohibition is a failure. Regulation is the way forward. Education is key in preventing harms, reducing harms. So come on, like, what are you waiting for? Like, in fairness, final headline I have for you today, guys, and we'll finish on this one. It is that the demand for cannabis in Europe is reaching new highs. And yeah, a little pun in there, yes. This is for hemp-related products. So this is all of the under 0.2% THC, or in certain countries actually under 1% THC, where there's an incredible demand. Some of the farmers, there's so much of a demand there for the products. Some of the farmers have actually got a lot of next year's crops already even pre-sold. There's that much of a demand there. So an very positive news to be reporting on there, and hopefully the regulators again get their finger out to allow for our Irish farmers here to partake in this global industry more effectively. The restrictions we have here currently around the production of cannabis, it's absolutely ridiculous. 64 varieties that are not up to the challenge of facing the competition out there in the rest of Europe, where they've got access to much better varieties of cannabis for growing, for making different kind of products, such as the full spectrum CBD extracts, CBG, CBN, all of those different ones attributed to the health benefits, and allowing up to even just 1% THC. Again, that's equal to what some of our European counterparts are allowed to do. Why are we crippling our own Irish farmers here for this prohibition? That's, as I've already pointed out numerous times, it's a failure. The only thing it's effective at doing, it's destroying not just our communities, but our potential industries as well. The potential opportunities for our farmers to compete on the global stage. So this is a report anyway that's coming out of Canna Exchange. So the soaring global demand for hemp is demonstrated in the latest Canna Exchange benchmark report, which shows that 60% of this year's European crop has been pre-sold, with orders already placed for 2022. It reports this year's European industrial hemp harvest is unlikely to meet the growing demand. So again, that just goes to show, the opportunity that's there. The crops that are there right now are unlikely to meet the demand that is there. It says here the market for herds, sheaves, or shives, I'm not sure how that's pronounced, and for every product that is used from an industrial point of view is growing significantly. Some of the bigger cooperatives, the ones which have diversified into a range of products, are telling us that they cannot supply the demand of the customer and already negotiating contracts for the 2022 season. And they talk about an example here with Jean-Philippe Perrin from the Cavac Biomateriaux, one of the biggest cooperatives on the continent, with a well-developed R&D capability and extensive product line. It shows it is experiencing a significant rise in demand from the textiles industry for hemp cotton, for household hemp items, and it reports the hemp packaging market is also an emerging trend. So again, this is an important thing here, just to remind you out there, guys, as listeners, is this money that you have in your pocket, when you spend that you're actually voting with your money. So when you make an effort to buy hemp products, such as hemp t-shirts, different hemp products, you too are voting with your money, showing support here. So that's what's reflected here in this report, is that the people are voting for cannabis, and it's growing higher and higher year on year. So again, our politicians are so far out of touch with the public. It's undemonstrable now at this stage. I can't even verbalize it how out of touch these guys are. It's gotten that bad, but it goes on to say here that whilst the car industry is mainly focused on the battery and electrification for now, there is a big shift underway in the construction industry to hempcrete and insulation panels, with hemp's capability as a carbon dioxide absorber and as a catalyst for the transition to a carbon neutral world, driving this demand. And also as well, guys, it's important to note that there's been a massive increase also in the cost of construction materials, especially over in Canada and America. For some reason, the cost of lumber has gone up by over 500 or some places 800% or something like that. It's absolutely ridiculous, and therefore they're looking for alternatives. What's coming in as a good alternative? Well, this hemp actually is it's eco-friendly. It's a carbon sequester. It's got bioremediation potentials. It's ticking a hell of a lot of feckin' boxes. And it's just why haven't we been using this all along? Prohibition, guys. Yes, prohibition has denied us access to what is now being shown to be an amazing and invaluable eco-friendly alternative to many of the products that we use, many of the construction materials that we currently use. And it's we're making that shift now, and maybe in about 10 or 20 years time now, it'll be majority of the houses are being made with hempcrete, or maybe we'll innovate in some other way and come up with like some sort of a hemp fucking 3D printing material or something like that. Like, who knows like where we're going with this. But once we get rid of prohibition, guys, the fucking sky is the limit. Honestly, like, we're going to hit new highs. Yes, getting the puns in there today. In the same one, time and time again. Sorry. Sorry, guys. So, look, again, policymakers way out of touch. The FSAI now need to get the finger out and really put the challenge on the authorities here to allow for our ups. Change that there by mistake. But the FSAI now, not the FSAI, the FAI, the Farmers Association of Ireland, they need to get the finger out now and put the pressure on the government to enable our farmers to partake in this industry. Prohibition has failed. The only thing it's successful in is getting cannabis to underage people on the street, to empowering organised crime gangs, and to blocking research, to blocking innovation, and to blocking industries growing. So, you know, get out there, guys, demand the end of prohibition for 101 feckin' reasons. You know, actually, not for 101 reasons, for each and every one of the reasons that cannabis is a benefit, which there are many. I could say hundreds and thousands of reasons there are to get out there and call for ending cannabis prohibition. What I do right now, what I'm about to do, this is only one. This is only one of the hundreds and thousands of reasons. You know, smoking a bit of cannabis, like, that's one. That's one reason. There's hundreds and thousands of them, guys. So each and every one of them valid for each and every person to get up and get out there and call for the government to change. Demand change, you know. Don't ask for it. Demand it. Peacefully. So, guys, I'll blaze this one up. We're done with the headlines for today. We will be back with more on Wednesday. But yeah, we'll get through some of your comments there. Get them on in. We'll open up the hotline there as well in a couple of seconds. But we'll get the number up on screen there for you also, guys. But let me blaze this one up before you try to ring in. Yes, guys, Mustawiz says hit that like button, everybody. Make sure you don't forget, guys. And if you haven't already done so already, guys, subscribe. Subscribe to get all notifications. Yes, hit that all button, even though apparently there's a bit of a, as they call it in the YouTubing or influencer world, a shadow ban. Apparently, anyway, like, I don't know. But well, I'm not going to get upset by it. I'm actually complimented by it if they are doing it to me. I'm flattered. We'll keep on going on. Like, they're not going to get me down. All right. I believe it's 4:20 there over in Iceland. Happy 4:20 Iceland. I think Iceland are like an hour behind us, I think. Could be wrong on that one now again. Like, my geography is off at the best of times. Oh. 1 second, Russell. Oh, 1 second there, Russell. Just going to hook you up my Bluetooth. Oi. There we go, Russell. Can you hear me?
I can, and the volume isn't as quiet as the last bit.
Excellent.
It's not too bad.
That's the job.
It's not as bad. Excellent. So, I just wanted to tell everyone I'm going down to a neurologist tomorrow to talk about going for the ministerial license.
Nice.
And I was talking to a buddy today, and he thought the drug payment scheme might be able to cover the cost of cannabis over €150 per month. So I was wondering, I kind of wanted to get a bit more in depth about this, because I've had a couple of people come at me different ways now, because I'm trying to see, can I actually physically afford to get this? You know what I mean? Because right now I'm spending out $400 a month on cannabis.
Yeah.
And well, $2,500 for 3 months. That's a lot more than $400 a month. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it adds up. All right, definitely. So you'll be looking to get. What is the?
Anyone?
the reimbursement payment scheme, is that for anything specific? Is that for anything specific? The medical reimbursement scheme, is that for?
Yeah, I think it's like it's not the medical card. It's like if your prescriptions go above 150 per month, if you're bothered filling out the paperwork, apparently you just go online, fill out the paperwork, and you get reimbursed then. Like, so I was told, if you're actually bothered filling out the paperwork, it can kind of be like a savings account. Well, I think it's more prohibitive than a savings account because you have to have 25 up front every 3 months.
Okay.
But I was wondering if anyone actually knew that you could do that, because I was like, that's interesting.
Well, I know myself that I know Kenny Tynan was trying to get paid. I believe that's the same pathway he was trying to take, and the guy in charge of it, who was overseeing it, wouldn't reimburse him because his condition was outside of the 3 conditions in which were approved by the HPRA. So it's likely that could be the outcome, but it's worthwhile trying anyway, for sure. If you don't try, you don't know.
Yeah. Fuck, I'm just like, fuck it, I'll try it just to try it, you know what I mean? But it's also, I was like, if anyone out there knows anything about it, I was like, I'll just, you just chuck it out there and you hope somebody knows something. So
yeah. Well, I'll tell Kenny to get in touch with you. Maybe he might be able to offer, if he has some more information to offer. Because I do believe that was the same guy. All right, the medicine reimbursement scheme. The guy overseeing that, he said, was a bit of a douche. But yeah, okay. and that was putting it nicely. I'm paraphrasing what he actually said. He said something nastier.
Okay. Man. Well, hopefully, here's hoping tomorrow is good.
Fingers crossed.
If he writes the letter tomorrow, that's it. Like, it's sent off to Stephen Donnelly. So.
Yeah. Well, make sure you get out there on the 7th of August anyway, and we'll stand up and we'll be fighting for not just yourself, but
you know what I'm working on at the moment. Hopefully that'll be done by then. So.
Excellent. Look forward to that. That's the job. Some more comedy for all of you lucky people out there.
I'll have to send you a screenshot there in a minute. You'll just pitch yourself laughing.
Excellent. So. Look forward to it.
All right. I won't talk up the phone line too long.
All right, father. Nice one. Catch you later, Russell.
Take it easy.
Peace. So that was Russell, guys. Some questions there on the reimbursement of medical cannabis. Hopefully maybe Kenny might be able to explain a bit further there, because he probably has first-hand experience at that. But I did my best there to help you out anyway. But Deep Pete had no clue Humboldt County supplies 80% of the black market in the States. Finally watched Murder Mountain on Netflix the other day. Good old documentary, alright. I enjoyed watching that, in fairness. But again, it just highlights the shit show that prohibition causes. That the stuff that went on up there, like, it was just as they say, kind of a Wild West in its own right, like a lawless part of the world. Mark Andrew, where were the queues? Did it boom? Ped Clark, a whole 1 gram joint, no tobacco, is going to give a newbie one hell of a buzz. That's how they do it over there, guys. Come on, like that's how you should be doing it here as well. Like, I wouldn't roll any other way myself. Like, they don't normally, I suppose, roll a 1 gram joint. Like, but if it's what's on offer, I certainly wouldn't be complaining anyway. Could be something mild as well, like, if it's a newbie, I'm sure the bud tender there behind it, or the cannabis consultant, actually, as Martin O'Brien from Foxworthy Farms likes to call him. Cannabis consultants, they wouldn't lead them astray. Like, if a person came in, they're going to ask them, like, well, where's your experience at? Where's your tolerance at when it comes to consuming cannabis? And if a person was honest and they say, well, it's my first time, they're going to say, well, good thing you came to me. Here, try this. Like, and it's like maybe 1-to-1 CBD to THC, like, 5% of each, or just something like that. Like, that's not going to be too strong, and nice and mellow for the person, like, without giving them anxiety or panic attacks and all of that. Like, because they're in good hands. Unfortunately, here, like, when I went to meet with Danke Shandon. It's yeah, we got his, and that's it. No complaints. It's nice and everything. Like, you're not ever really going to complain. Like, but it would be very nice for the newbie to be able to get the offer of variety there, and that's what could be afforded under the model of regulation rather than prohibition. So nice one again there, Russell, for the call. But Bhagwan's son. Luxury products is the only business where you can make luxury profits. Ped Clark, backward people love the prefix moving forward or looking forward. DB Woodcraft, Irish gift shop, buy a leprechaun and get a free plant. See, I wish we had a loophole in the law here that would allow for us to do things like that. So... maybe we might be able to find one. Any legal experts out there good at finding loopholes, get in touch, let me know. I'll try it out if you think it might work. But you have to be a qualified expert, guys, you know what I mean? Don't be coming at me like if you're not really proper qualified. Russell, what's going on? I was literally talking to it. Facebook people, share the gospel. Hit that share button, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe and follow and all that stuff as well. You actually got like nearly 6,000 people following over on Facebook, if that's worth anything. Like, I was kind of surprised by that the other day. It's only got like 3,000 likes, which is weird. Is that about like, is that a way people can follow, but not have other people know that they're following? That they'll follow but they won't like so that their boss doesn't see it. I don't know. It just got me thinking, like 6,000 followers but 3,000 likes. But yeah, it's good to see anyway. Like, and where are we at in YouTube? Like, over in YouTube, I'm sure we're like 1,500 or something, 1,600. Not doing so bad. Nice old audience building up around it. Where are we at? 1.7 thousand. Yeah, 1.7 thousand. Happy days. Nice one, guys. Thanks, guys. Never thought I'd get it to that level, to be fair, like, you know. But yeah, I'd like to see it grow more. Hopefully not for too long, though. You know, I hope by this time next year maybe we can retire the whole activism side of it, like, and Martin's World can become like a little show down in the farm and the shop where we sell the cannabis and meet the customers and the community and just talk about good times. WRT. YouTube got an option where you can pay to watch with no adverts, but I won't give them my money because of their views on cannabis. There you go, nice. I actually have to say, I think I seen an ad on YouTube the other day for cannabis, for medical cannabis, I believe. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure that was on YouTube, like, and I skipped it by mistake. I kind of was looking at it and hit the skip button. I was like, was that for cannabis? I think it was like a CBD ad. And it was just talking about THC and CBD, the difference between them or something. Anyone else see that? Or was that just me? Was I tripping? Thank you, Shannon, give me some bomb stuff. Missed always. I'm enjoying that premium lifestyle, Gunner. All I watch at YouTube, though. Yeah, the premium on YouTube is quite sweet, alright. Skipping those ads is a pain in the arse. We had the premium there down in the gym for a while, and it was so nice to not have to look for albums where there's no ads in the album. I know there's one or two there that, like, you can watch the whole album, listen to the whole album while you're doing the class and you get no ads. So, ways around it, alright. Miss Dowes, if you're in Ireland, 3 allow you to keep your credit after giving you 30 days internet. I could then get YouTube Premium free as part of that. I know of a few people doing that, alright. Sadly, I've 20 quid per month, no, 30 quid per month or something like that I have for mine, and I get free calls, free internet, and free text and all that stuff as well, like, so I'm kind of happy with that. Cruncey, just grow your own, it's less stressful. Yeah, guys, grow your own. It kind of is less stressful in a certain sense. If you tend to get paranoid, if you're worried about the law, then I could see how it could be a bit more stressful. But like the fact that, like, I have this here now, all right? So if the cops come kicking the door right now, this justifies their visit. It justifies it, like, in their eyes. I get the same visit to court. I get caught with the same law. Like, you know, if the cops were to come here and I have 4 plants, you know, 2 plants, you know, whatever it might be, personal. This is personal. And if I was to be growing my own, it would be personal. So, like, well, what's really the difference? Like, I know a lot of people who would have no problems having bigger bags than this in their house. But they would be like, no, I could never grow it. I'd be terrified. Like, but actually growing your own is probably easier to argue in court than having a couple of ounces, or even just an ounce. Like, you know, they could easily argue the ounce, like, especially if you have scales as well. Like, they love doing that. Like, and if you have a few money bags, I have a money bag of weed here as well. But it's funny enough, like, even sandwich bags, actually, I've seen that one being argued as well. Like, they were like, oh, he has sandwich bags and a scale. Irish hemp harvest, what I don't understand is one of the conditions is the pain of multiple sclerosis, i.e. not the spasticity. Then how can they justify denying people with chronic pain? I know it makes no sense. Russell put it well. He said it's as if the guys looking for it went through the literature and found the 3 most difficult conditions for people to get prescribed it with, and chose those. All of them being refractory, i.e. you have to try all of the mainstream medicines first before they even consider you as a candidate for cannabis as a choice of medicine. Meaning, basically, you have to try all of their other drugs, dangerous experimental ones with their own nasty side effects, damage to the liver included, before they give you access to an all-natural herbal remedy around for millennia, been used by humans for thousands of years. As far back as it goes in terms of records as 12,000 years ago, humans have had a relationship with the cannabis plant, and it probably goes back further than that, but we just don't have evidence of it to date. But yeah, sure, try your drugs before you try the plant that we've used for thousands of years. Like, it makes no sense. About as much sense as this fucking two-tier system we're creating at the moment. But look, we won't even get stuck into that. Why isn't insomniacs included in that list of conditions? Pure joke. Exactly. Why isn't, like, fucking anorexia, like, you know, eating conditions, stuff like that? Why aren't they included? There's so many conditions that needed to be included, like arthritis. Oh, there's so much. Like, Monsieur Fudge saying here, I got a sticker in Dublin for Zombie Nation Farms. Can't find anything online. Anyone heard of him? Check out Instagram. I know the Zombie Nation Farms have accounts over there on Instagram, so check that one out. And you'll find them over there. Hype 0.6, 0.7 does make a nice joint. I find it gets too harsh with much more. Yeah, again, like, each to their own. Like, yeah, I kind of tend to just get the skin and just make it fat and long and thick, and normally as over the gram goes in alright. Don't tend to weigh it. Like, I just kind of eyeball quality, like, you know, and just go by feel. Like, you know, some things you just gotta feel from winning. Hype level out. I remember some luxury Cannagar guys getting called out on the price of the ingredients going in. They just said you're paying for the experience. That's right. Yeah, the Cannagars were a thing there for a while. They became a thing over there in Cali, so they became a thing over here as well for a little bit. Irish hemp harvest 1.5 a week. Only a few weeks ago. Mustawis, we should have a look to see if we can include Instagram on Streamlabs. So many potential viewers there. I've looked at that. All right, I've tried to integrate it with it using the Yellow Duck as the platform that will restream it, but with no luck, unfortunately. If I want to stream it to Instagram, I need to change my screen size, which is not going to be pleasurable then for yourselves over there on YouTube, Facebook and Twitch, who can get the full screen. So yeah, we'll have to definitely do a live some stage. John Finnegan, SmartTube, YouTube with no ads. Nice. Hype. What was that strain again? Which one? This one here in the bag that I got off of the Danke Shannon dude. Strawberry haze. It's quite nice. Actually going to pack up another bowl of it there now before we start hitting the road, guys, because I'm going to have to start signing off because it's Monday, guys. We got Thai boxing to go get done. Yes, go down there and smash some pads, but first get some neural protection in there because you never know when somebody might punch you in the head in a Thai boxing gym. Supposed to keep you guard up at all times, but you know, sometimes you mess up. So yes, we got some prophylactic medication here, preventative. Just in case of damage occurring, I'm going to take something that will mitigate some of the effects of that. Yes. Education there for you guys, coming at you from Martin's World, qualified herbal scientist. Yes, got my honours degree in herbal science. So a prophylactic medication is a type of medication. It's a preventative, just in case you didn't know. And that's what cannabis is really good at. Cannabis is really good at mitigating the effects, the outcomes of bad injuries. You know what I mean? Head trauma. So again, I'm probably going to have to retire this bong and get back to vaping. I'm hitting way too many bongs. Like, I think I need to get vaping again. It's a healthier alternative, like, you know, it is, like, while the medium of water is good for filtering out some of the nastier of the stuff that you might be breathing in the smoke, it's still not good to be breathing in smoke into your lungs. Like, even the vape is probably something, you know, that's probably is going to be not as bad, but still has probably got bad things with it. I don't know. Don't know enough about vaping really yet, but definitely with smoking, like, it's something that I'm always kind of saying, you can do better, Martin. Come on. It's just so convenient, isn't it? Like, you know, just like hit the flame, up the pipe, up. Nice. Russell Banta, that person is me or one of them, but like when you are renting with other people, it's not really feasible. That's it. Like, you know, you get stuck in these situations, like, so it's just not possible to do a bit of growing. But again, you look into the economics of it. If you were to maybe rent a 2-bedroom house and say, yeah, I'll get that other room rented out by another student, but you don't, you just have the whole house to yourself and you just incur the cost of that. It's probably well, I don't know, the rent actually at the moment in Cork is absolutely redonkulous. But if you move outside of Cork a little bit, maybe it actually might be worthwhile to rent a 2-bedroom house for yourself, you know, and you know, just incur that cost, just so you can have the privilege of being able to grow in a spare room. You know, if it's 400 quid a month that you're paying already on for your cannabis, but if you pay like maybe an extra 100 quid, even if it was an extra 500 quid that you had to put aside every month to cover the cost of the rent and the electricity and stuff like that, you're getting a lot more cannabis at the end of it. Like, you know, after 3 months of buying it, you'd have a bill of 1,200 and 3 ounces of cannabis. But after the end of 3 months of growing it, you've a bill maybe a little bit more, let's say of 1,500, let's say, but you now have about 10 ounces, 12 ounces of cannabis if you do anyway. Well, you know, just 4 plants. Think about it, 4 plants, 3 months, and potentially you could have 10 plus ounces of your very own high quality cannabis. Think of the savings there, really. Like, you know, 3 months, €1,200, 3 ounces. 3 months, €1,500, 10 plus ounces. Just throwing it out there, guys. Just saying, like, you know, the numbers don't lie. Like, the benefits of growing your own, they're fucking great. Like, you know, Honestly, like, cannabis doesn't need to be the price that it is today. Like, it is only the way it is because of prohibition. And if you remain silent, if you accept it, if you just go out and buy cannabis, and if you don't engage in calling for a change of the law, then sadly your silence is compliance. Like, you're complying with the law. Like, so therefore, you're agreeing with it, and it's going to stay in place. So, grow your own form of protest. If you get caught by the cops, just say, well, I was protesting, actually. This is a protest, and if you want to bring me to the court for protesting, then so be it. But I was doing it for X, Y, and Z reasons, harm reduction, didn't want to support the crime gangs, needed to ensure the what it was that I was consuming, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? There's a number of reasons there. And a protest, they shouldn't be locking people up for protesting. Our government have had long enough, guys. Think about it. Like, Luke Flanagan put the bill forward in 2013. Our government have long enough to put this right. So they've ignored the people, the calls, the demands that were there for change. So now it's down to us, civil disobedience. Like, and while I'm very public about mine, you can be anonymous about yours. Like, just do it in your own little way, like quietly in your own home. Civil disobedience, like, set up your own little cooperatives there in your community. Like, because as I said, like, 3 months you could have 10 ounces. You as one person, sure, you only needed 3 all along. Like, well, that means you've got, like, say 6 or 7 there that you could spare with 1 or 2 others within your community, which will again reduce the cost of the room. You know what I mean? And this is civil disobedience, community building. Like, we're standing up for our rights, our right, our freedom for association. That's a very important one. We can form these little cooperatives, these clubs. Like, it's our right to be able to do this. Like, nobody's getting hurt from doing it. On the contrary, people are actually benefiting in a very good way by engaging in this kind of a protest. So get involved, guys. Set it up. Like, I'll be public about mine just to try to get attention to these kind of messages. But you don't have to be very public about yours. Keep it quiet. Small little circle of you. A buddy who's got the spare room. A few friends. Grow your own. And maybe you might be able to adopt some patience into it. Like, maybe somebody's uncle who's suffering with X, Y, or Z, and you might be able to sort them out and do some good. But the fucking the potential there is it's great. Like, if we really just put our heads together on this one. The government have had their opportunity. We've given them more than enough chances. So now it's down to us, the people, to show them what it is that we want, and the potential that they're denying us all along. So yeah, long and thin will never win, short and thick will do the trick. That's what the missus says. All right, yeah. Well, sure, nice one. Robert McCormick, the volcano, one of the best inventions. Have you ever tried it? I have indeed. It's been a feature of the show a number of times. Really good. WRT Gunner, Martin, it'll be good for you to stream one of your kickboxing sessions to debunk the lazy stoner myth. Yeah, definitely will maybe get around to doing stuff like that once this whole COVID nonsense is behind us. I don't think the gym is comfortable with doing any of that right now. Guru Gangsta Goat, the mighty are the packs for the portable DV. Yeah, guys, I can't go against the mighty anyway. The mighty is pretty good. I've tried that a number of times myself, and it's high quality vape. That's for sure. Did it boom? Guru Gangsta Go up. I haven't tried them all. Researched. Yeah, I see the comments coming in there, guys. Right, guys, I'm going to Lovey and Levy because it is 5:45 and I want to get down there and actually make the warm-up this evening for the 6 o'clock class. But my class actually doesn't start until 7, so I get to partake rather than teach. But enjoy the rest of your evening, guys. I'll be back on Wednesday with more 420 news. I'll be making efforts there as well to get a couple of interviews done over the next couple of days as well, guys. So I'll have some announcements on that to be coming to you good people as well very soon. So much love, guys, to each and every one of you. Thanks, everybody, for all your comments, all of the likes, shares, follows, to everybody who's sent in the donations to the show as well, guys. Much appreciated to each and every one of you. I'll be back on Wednesday. Stay blazed, guys. Keep her lit. Much love and peace. Hey.